It's been 3 years since this actually began, and it's 3 years later, and the same energy penetrates into my mind. I am so far behind, but yet I'm so far ahead. If I can only transfer my message onto everybody else so they can see the same light that I see, to see that this world of Urantia is more than what you can understand. You see, what happens is we get the round overhead, and then we get the V to protect it, because this is the two sides, right? You want to split the iceberg coming down. You open up the two sides, your head splits open, and it goes inside and it closes. In roulette, it starts at number 5, but that's the electronic pass, and everybody gets the 5 pass because everybody gets the 5 pass in bingo, B-I-N-G-O, buy for Nibiru. The 32 pass does not go 9 more towards 41, because the next time you leave 32, you get the 41. Now you're in the Monopoly game. But you have to succeed at 37. So what you actually do is 17 and 20 connect the bottom part Q and the top part, in which 20 automatically becomes 26. Because one is the cat and one is the dog. But at 20, let's do it this way. Because 8 is the heaven, let's give 20 number 2, which is the letter V for life, and it's this shape. Then we give it the number 6 for man. So we make 20 28, and 28 is now the time heaven where you're connected. But the connection is 26 because it's the 9 lives of the cat caught inside the telephone. And if you take a look, here's your talus. You see this over here? This is your talus. You get one shoulder, the other shoulder, and then you in the center. It makes 3, 1, 1, and 1. Between here and here, it is a half, a 5. Between here and here, it's a half, it is a 5. Take away the middle, you got 55. Between you, 2.5 the distance and 2.5 the distance, making the third area a 5. This is your 6 dice. Why? Because it's only a 4 dice, and you have to add the 3 dice to it. Now, the 3 dice will have a point on it, because on the cards, they're far apart. And the only way to get the points is at the ends. So you have to turn the dice sideways. This slips into here, and you get 1, 2, 3. 17 and 20. 5 is the beginning, so your 9 birth becomes 43. 5 is the beginning, which would be 37. And if you notice, 23 and 14 is 37. And 20 and 17 is 37, because that is the mark. And if you add up 37 times 47, I'm going a little bit off guard because there's a lot to say. So I'm just going to go and tell you what 37 by 47 is. 37 times 47 equals 1739. And the passage is what? 37. 37 and 1739. So what did I just say? 37 times what? Now I'm going to go to 38 times 47, and it equals 1786. But I said 37, right? 37 times 47 equals 1739. To get to 1776, you need 37 more. So you have to add. So instead of 38, you're 47 times, how, this is not working. 36, 37, I don't get it. 37 times 47 equals 1739. 47 times 38. That's not right. I need one more 37. So this is what it is. You need 37 times 47 equals 1739. Then you add one more 37, makes 1776. And I have that somewhere down properly. Also, it calculates that we're 50 years away from the president at 1789. And for the reason of that, okay, forget about the zeros right now, but 50, if you count, everybody's celebrating 50 because it's midfield, where the coin goes onto both sides, half and half. It's a nickel back, half and half to each side. Now both sides got half of the center. That makes 1789. But then after that, we add the 2 and the 6 to it, because it's a 50, and the 50 is in the center. So now it's a 2-6. Instead of just adding on the 6, you have to add on both of them because the 50 is in the center. It's from both sides. It's the 2 Venus, which is the vent, which is the vent, which is your stomach, which is your air vent, which is the energy coming down from Venus. If you're sweating, why are you sweating? Because your brain radiator is working, but it's all in your nuts. You got two nuts, you got two cubes. Elvis Presley showed it all to us. And an owl, okay, the hips of an owl are actually further up in his body, showing that his actual body sits inside his hips, and that's where the sex organs are and everything else, and the organs play. Now, we have 1789. I did this. I don't know where I was going. Oh, yes, it was on the other side of this paper. 91, okay, the yellow ball of 1 and 9 in pool, and the red ball of 3 in pool. 1A, 3C. 1A, 3C equals 4, makes 8. But 1 is yellow, 3 is red. Red and yellow make orange, and that's the 5 ball. E, A, C, E. You have the electronic spirit creation on the 3 dice, and you're all ready to go. God just has to be 3 because he turns all around in a circle. He's got 1 on each side. He's turning his ruler all around, and he's got the totality with this 3. 3 into this corner, automatically gets 3 there, 6. 3 into this corner, automatically gets 3, 6. That's 12. But now man has his own 2 corners. 3 into this corner is 9. 3 into the other corner is 15. You have to come back to the center on both sides. So I shouldn't have taken this away. I want to continue. So that would say ace, and the color would become orange in pool. And once you get the orange ball, the number 13 says M. Inside the sound of M is an E, and the E is automatically a 5. The M counts to 1 and 3, and it is a 4. And all of a sudden, you got the purple ball, because the purple is what comes out into the Venus worlds out of the 4 ball and the 12 ball, which creates your 16. It creates your head, 4 ball, and the 13 and the 12 ball. 12 is 1 and 2 is 3. 4 and 3 is Earth and Mars. 1 is a square, 1 is a triangle, 1 is a sand trap, where you put all the stuff in the sand trap and you put the triangle in the top. Well, how can you close it with a square? It'll close easier with a triangle. And eventually if you put 2 triangles, it'll come round like the U. You shove in fact, you can shove in a ruler, you push in the ruler, and it folds. And it folds like a U. Then you put a cap on it with an edge on it to protect itself. So what we have right now, we're going to get back to, is 19 and 91, the separation between the two, but I didn't even finish with the orange ball in pool yet. The total, the orange ball, it totals 18 for the angel residence, 1 and 8. 18, the sound of 18 is actually AR, so it automatically becomes 19. So you go from 1 to 19, and that automatically becomes 20. Your 3 part of creation on 20, so it's 23. Plus the 3 creating, you're now 26, you're in the doghouse. So now you have to start multiplying and adding all these numbers up. But I did it wrong. I shouldn't have said it that way. Because what happens now that you live inside the yellow pool ball, because if you ever take the pool ball apart, this is in the center, and it looks round now, but it's actually square. You have 72 between your birth of 19 and 91, because the 10, okay, which is the 5 and 5 world, and the 9, which is your birth, which is 4 in one world, and 4 in the other world with the 1 spirit. Once you start your life, you add Venus, but never count the 2. The 2 card only comes out once, and then it comes out in the 3, but it's only because it's holding the fort. You see, as the 6 card, okay, if you look at the 6 key, it's a V hat that's on top of it. It's a protective V, which is a 5. Protected on the top 5, protected on the bottom 5. 6 is in the center. You have 11, 11, no matter what. So now, we have 72. The age of bar mitzvah is 13. Why? Because in order to get on the cross in Rubik's Cube, you need to go 13, and then you got to go 1. Once you go 13 and 1, it's 14, and that's exactly what they show you. On this is the Mayan stuff. You see the way it makes the hexagon here? See the way it makes the diamond here? They're all reasons. They're 100% reasons. Here's your 13 and 1. Here's your 12 and 2. You just have to keep mixing up and taking the games to this game, to that game, back to this game. You just got to always, always continue. And if you notice why there's 3 in every corner, because we don't need the corner. Do you know what happens? You get a train track or a corner. If you go into a corner, automatically you become 0, then you got to go back to the train track. You get it to the other corner, you get 0, you got to go back to the train track, so you're always pushed near the tracks. Tracks are 11. The boardwalk. So this way for the wood, then for the spikes. They don't bang the spikes straight in, they bang the spikes this way. I'm going to show you a little design with that on it. But I just want to finish this off over here. So you come into the world as 9 times 8, into the 8 heaven of the 9 birth, equals to the 72. You come from Venus, which is another 9, becomes 81, and that's Venus's number. 81 and 29 of your birth makes 110. 72 plus 13, the one spirit of the 3 creation, and you come onto the cross as 131. 13 and 1 is 14. You make your 86. 131 ends up saying 3 times 1, 3 plus 1 is 7. 3 times 1, 3 plus 1 is 77. So you come into the world. 11 times 11 times 11 equals 1331. So now you have 11 and 3 worlds. This is on the talus, and it goes behind each part of your neck. And you wear it around your neck, and it makes a U around your neck. But you make the life within it. So one is a V, one is a U. Earth is triangular. Mars is square. Put the triangle in the square and shove a whole bunch of stuff in it. You got 2 sides and you're okay, because that's what it creates in a letter afterwards. Creates the letter K. And also at the same time, on the Mayan Sanskrit, down at the bottom, you'll see there's a split or a division. But because there's so much stuff on it, nobody can actually tear it apart and see what's actually there. Certain things have to be there. They have no choice. You build straight things, and then you cut things off straight. Everything is straight, okay? The only time you bend things is when you have a linear, and you pull one linear over to the other linear, and you have to go around. So you go around the loop. This is basically what it is. This was a square in the center. I took it from corner to corner and cut each corner off. After I cut each corner off, I went up to the top and I extended each corner out and each corner down. And then I put on my lights. Here's one lights that they check us with. Here's the other lights that they check us with. Check off. Here, can you see this? Zing. It goes right into here and it penetrates, okay? They fill this in because they follow you. Here's the ears and the eyes at the top, and they can do the same thing as this design right here. You see the design? It's the same design that sits on the Magen David. Now, if you take a good look at this, or take a good look at this, they're all Magen Davids. You draw, I'm going to show you this one drawn out. See if I can draw it right by you. So we draw this one out here, and I draw this one out here, and I draw this one out here, and I draw this one out here. I put the cap on it over here. I can put the cap on it over here. And this is your Magen David. You notice that little cap at the bottom? That's the dot on the eye, because that's where she's spinning, south and north pole. See the other design that comes up over here? You always start with a face of 4. The other thing I wanted to mention before I go on to the next thing is Peru, Jamaica, India are all part of the 76 system. Why? Easy as it can be and as easy as pie, look up what they gave you. So I look up 1776 in coordinates, I end up in Jamaica. I look it up again, I end up in India. Now what you have to do is go to 7616, 7617. Do you understand why it doesn't make a difference if it's off by a couple of degrees? Because it's a whole area we're covering. All areas are 44. The moon is 57. Why? Because the 10 house of the 9 birth, which is 5 and 5 on each side, 10 and 9, 10 and 9, 10 and 9. In 1 really doesn't exist except for keeping the other ones alive. 19 and 19 is 1938. Another 19, because inside the game, in French, they say 19 3 times. One time between 10 and 19, because you have the 9, the 10, the birth, you add the 9 to the 10, you got the maximum, you got 19. And it works out. 3 times 4, 3 plus 4, 7. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 plus 4 is 7. 19. We have the sandbox, and we have our brain inside the sandbox. Mars is empty. It's an empty can until you start to think. Then you become having the matter of fact, because the matter of fact of everything is inside the enterré, which means the earth buried inside the earth. So there are great things buried inside this planet, especially by the New Madrid, and all these places show football stuff. Why football stuff? Because they have the flip of the coin. When you flip that coin at center field, it divides up between two teams. Regardless of where it falls, the two teams have taken a shot. It's me or it's you. So you know what's in the middle of the field right now. Both of them took a guess. It's between them. The coin falls, and one of them gets the toss, and it's on his side of the field. So they move the ball back to the 35. 15 is the egg because of the egg of the pool. 9 for the ball because the 1 and 9 in the yellow ball. And 6 is the green ball for life. It's eternal. The 6 ball is 6, and it's also the 14 ball. 6 and 5 is 11. The opposite of 11 is 7. 7 points for the game. 6 points and 3 points are your field goal and your touchdown, with the extra point, which happens to be the coin that you played for. And when you kick it through the uprights, one on the left, one on the right, well, your ball went through, and there was something holding it up, just like there's something holding you up. So I'm going to show you something else and see if we can get to this. So we now know 7286. And here's another thing. I mean, I'm all over the place, and I always will be until I get people to sit with me. Man's mind is time heaven, T and H. It's actually BTH. It's a bitch, but it's a BTH because B is the 2. At the same time, it's 20. But T is 20, and if you add on 2 to 20, you get 22. But now you're in Venus, and you're still in the center. So you add on man 6, you get 28. Time heaven. It's all in the mind. This is a created planet. There is something that's going to go on next year, but it's always been going on anyways. Take it to the fact that it's going on because the cards, the cars and the cards, the elements of the earth that keep it alive to run for all of mankind have to be changed next year. And the change has already begun. If you look at all the reactors, if you look near Hoover Dam, and Hoover Dam especially, because when you create a 7 and another 7, it becomes the hourglass and 8. When you do it on this side, it becomes 7 and 7, create the hourglass of 8. So you have 88. It's also created in the 1, 3 corners, 3 and 1, 1 and 3, and it stands for Herbert Hoover, the president. But we also have to know who the 30th president is. It's just like in Monopoly. When you throw the dice from go every corner, whatever happens to you, you have to add 1 because you started on the 1. So a dice of 30 gets you all the way to the corner of go to jail. So you go all the way back across the corner to jail because everything starts in creation. And what comes out of creation? Number 36 and number 38. The 0 becomes 2, makes 32, which is part of 3 and 2, 5, which is 3 times 2, 3 plus 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 plus 2 is 5. E and F, and they follow each other on DEF of your telephone and everywhere else, DEF. So now you have DEF. So you created your 28, your time heaven, which is your mind. 32 is one door. 23 is the other one. In between, 14 is the other one, is the cross on your back. Then you have 17, which is A to F, because the one spirit of 6. And all of a sudden, after that, you come into the game on 20. But 20 always sends you to 26, like because of 0, 26, 28, 26, 28. 26 and 28 equals to 54. And that's the sun, and it's part of the meaning for Rubik's Cube, because everything is a coin. Everything is a coin. When you put 2 eyes together, it creates the deck of where the captain was of Titanic. In there it becomes a 0. You have C-O-C, cock, whatever it means, okay? Cock-a-doodle-doo, I guess. This one was made a little different. This is as small as I could have gotten this by making it this size and opening up the center before we begin. Automatically, I now have 2 X's on each side. 77, 77, 77, 77. 154. Again, back to the spirit of the sun. It creates the 8 in an hourglass, so now you have 88 and 88. 80 and 80 is 160, and 16 is 176. The spirit is 76. But we have to remember, like in backgammon, when we make a move and we hear 64, it can also be 60 and 4. The minute you say 60 and 4, it's an 8. You can put a 1 in between. Building the octagon, here's the center field. We go back, and we go back our 1 yard. We go back our 1 yard. We have the coin, and the coin fits in right here into that stop sign. This is a pool ball. Take out the center, you have the middle, and something goes in it. And I didn't draw it just like that. It also comes from many movies and shows. Here's your 8, but here's your egg. This is man's head. It's an egg in the center. It's got a round, and if you take a look, there's an X. Every time you see a crossing, there's always one X here, one X here, one X here, one X here. 4 X's, 40. Or 4 X's at 24 equals 96. Then there's an X over here and an X over here and a V at the same time that comes out. So you got to create XX 48 plus V 22 is 58, 68 is 70. Add 2 and 6 is 78, which is the two houses, or just add 6 and you have 76. The spirit is 76. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 8 X's on here. 160 and 32 is 192. Plus the V is 44. 192 and 44 is 136, and that's the creation of man. 136 is counting from A to P equals 136. A1 plus 16 equals to 17, and now we're at the Q letter. When you add 17 to 136, it automatically makes 153, and we're back to the orange, red, and yellow, ACE that it spells. The Jewish letter of P, you have to look at Jewish and you have to look at Greek, how things are made. This is the P. It also looks like a 9. It's the pi. Inside one of these is a football, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is complete. This is your football. This is one point. This is the other point. Anybody want to kick a field goal for 3 points? There's 3 different worlds in here, 3, 3, and 3. Here's the center for 3 points. You can kick the ball and get 3 points. It's on the upright right now. Let's give it a kick. This is the straight line when you count to 10. And when you get to 10, it stops on 9 and makes a circle, because the 10 is actually a completion of the doghouse and what's inside, where the center will get a cube in order for it. A cube on this side and a cube on this side. But if you ever look, the hat, you ever look at the hat that the Pope wears? Well, this is what it looks like. It's half of one of these and half of one of these. It's not the hat in the center, because the hat in the center, the square hat when we go to college and we graduate, it's the college graduate hats. Oh my God, college graduate hats, square heads. You understand why? Because that element of the dice cube is inside of it. Yes, we're real, we're human beings, this is Earth, everything is funny and fantastic, but the way we came to be here through the system of Urantia is all about building. And Urantia tells you a lot of things about itself. It's a beehive, okay, hung up here on one side, hung up here on the other side, okay? So they hang it up on both sides. Each side gets the same amount, okay? And in each one is worth house 10, house 10. But they each got to make them 13, because you have to take from the center creation, go to the left and go to the right. So they each become 13, becomes 4 and 4. What the center was 10 and whole. He gives it away. So what does he do to give it away 3 and 3? He adds the 6 to his 0, makes it 16. 1 and 6 is 7. You now have 4, 7, 4. We started at 13 and 13, and this one was 10, turns to 7, and this is 4 and 4. I just got to keep reminding myself of everything, because there's a lot more than that. Because now you say, how come I got my bar mitzvah? Well, by getting any of this, you automatically, in the 10 position, when it gets reduced, you automatically actually get 5 more on each side. But you actually just get 1, because you get the one you need is the 5 cube. And every time you get 1, there always includes 4. 2 corners and 2 corners. Nothing starts until the 4. The 4 dice, the 4 card has got the 4 corners. The 4 card, the 5 card, the 6 card, the 7 card, the 8 card, the 9 card, they all have the 4 corners. It's what's on the inside that's a little bit different. And you can see over here the way we match up the 14 and 14. But look, 2 and 1 is 3, 5. 1 and 1 is 2, 5. This one, you have to add that 6. Becomes 16 and 5. Now you got 21. Now you're ready to rock and roll. And you know what they do in the casinos? Well, that shouldn't have been there, the 5. I had to end on the 4. So that would have been 20. Made a mistake. It was 16 plus 4 makes 20. But now that I got 20, I automatically come into time heaven. And it goes back to 42. 14 is 42. 52 hold on a second, 14, 28, 42, 56, the word for comet. I'm going to jump off this subject and get back right on it, but planet is planned and it's net. It's a network of creation. We live on a planet because it's a creation of something else. The number is 68. Man's number is 68. That means man and the planet were both created for each other. And all these things that are coming out there were created to do whatever they're going to do or whatever has to be done by the choice of someone. By the choice, these spaceships are out there right now. By the choice. The same thing goes for number 39. There's 3 worlds of 39. The 3 worlds create one at the end. You have the left, you have the right, and you have the middle. And in the middle, what's funny about the middle is because we end up going back to the middle, we have 2 in the middle, one on top of each other. These are side to side. These are on top of each other. So this one connects to this one connects to this one. This one connects to this one connects to this one. So it goes out and then it goes in. It's like a black tie affair. There was something else I wanted to mention that I'm a little off with. Yes, the 13s, okay? 13, okay? And 13 and 13 is 4, 4, and 4. Oh, and I have a number of that. I got a number, 47 times the amount of time, times something, I think, and it gives me 222, 444, 666. The numbers are perfect. 13, 13, and 13 is 39. 39 is the highest you can go, and you got the boardwalk, which is the train tracks. One more 13, which is 7 and 6, that puts you into this game, gives you 52. Man of Venus. Venus. You always count 1, 2, the first 2 small ones with the first 2 big ones, and then you have to include the other worlds, because first world, second world, and the third world has to be created together. So it'd be 3, 6. The 7 stay on the outside, the lowest and the highest, and you put the inside, the next row, 3 and 6. So when you play the piano and you got center C or whatever else you're doing, you can always add up the highest and the lowest, and whatever else moves up a number and moves down a number. 3 and 6 is 9, 5 and 4 is the sun. Creation of man, 5 and 4, 3 and 6, L-O-V-E. L, 3, O, 6, V, 4, E, 5. L5 on the phone, O6 is on the phone, V is on the 8, and E is on the 3. 83, 6, 5. 83, 65, 11, 11, and the other way of love is 99. Here's just a couple of pictures I drew before we get back in. Looks like a man is trying to hold off both sides. This looks like I'm just going to tell you what the RC was. See how it started? All it is the Mercedes sign, one here, and then once you put the rest of the artwork, it turns into this. This is over here. You ever watch Gilligan's Island? Oh, this is part of Gilligan's Island. Oh, it's right here. This is a hat. It's a hat. It's a hat like this. Where did everything go, eh? Just when I wanted it. Just when I wanted it, right? Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. Here it is. Okay. You see, it's a hat, right? Regular hat. Take the hat, fold it over. Take the scissors out and cut. And now, voila, we have a beanie. We take the round and we put it in the round, and all of a sudden, now we have the eye in the sky. It holds itself into the hat. It holds itself into the hat, and you have your eye in the sky. See the way it shines? See the way you can see yourself in it? Because that's what they do. The eye in the sky. The one eye that you need. The one eye, because that's all we need is the one eye. It's the 2 eyes that bring it back to 1 eye. Hold it, guys, hold on a second. I'm taking a break just in case they pull out my wires. Like last time they pulled out my wires, you buggers. Stay away. Stay away, cats. Stay away. Stay away, please, please. We're busy here. You want to come on TV? You stay there. I'm putting you on TV. There you are on TV. Let's go. It's my favorite cat. This is called Lucky because Lucky got the split right in his head. Let's go, Lucky. Ooh, what a jump to the floor. Where else are we going to go? Things that are on angles. You want to see something else? Things designed just the way they are. You take this picture over here. Okay, and this is 205. But we put an east-west line all the way through it, and it becomes 286. 286, 7286 from 205. We don't need this side because everybody knows 1 and 6 made the 7. So once the 2 is there, it'll say 72 because 1 and 9, which is the smallest and the greatest number, say 72 in between 19 and 91. And it's always like that, and it can't change because that's the way it was made. The biggest spread. 6 is the biggest you can get. 6 and 1 makes your 7. That's it. And what's funny about that is see what happens with the ace? Because the ace starts on an inside corner and finishes on the outside corner of the same square, you can automatically extend this line to the balance of the square so you can use the whole square up. So you can put the F. On this side, you can put the 7 with the line in it. Now you have A and F6 equals to the 7. 7 and 1 is 8, plus 6 is 14. Now you got the cross on your back. Now you put the 1 down here, the same thing, and you have 28. Time heaven, 28 days of the moon. There's a lot more to do. I'm 31 minutes into this. I'm going to take a break and come back. There's all kinds and all kinds of designs you have to make in order to understand the worlds. This is my calendar. The reason I call it my calendar is because in certain ways you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You go 4 rows because when you make a bet in roulette, you have to use 2 rows or 2 rows or 2 rows. And because this row is the last row, how do you bet it with anything else when there's no numbers? You're on the outside. So you put more numbers for protective. You never bet this area, but now you can bet it on this side or this side to protect yourself. So you bet 1 side, 2 sides, and then you go from this side to bet 2 sides and 3 sides. So now you can go 2 and 3 if you're betting. Here's the way the design was made. It becomes 7, and if you want, it's an F upside down, so it automatically says 13. This is your X, 10. You automatically got number 23. And this is the number to Michael Jordan, number 23. This is designed just like this. I just keep putting in here, 7, 7. But this is Mark Rodin's. This is Mark Rodin's when he said 1, 2, 4, 8, 7 and 7 is 15, 7 and 7 is 14, 1 and 4 is 5. And back in here. Then this would go back here, then back here, then back here. This is the complete other way. These are rings. Do you see this little thing here? If you take a look, it goes up this way and down. You take a look at this way, it goes up this way and down. That's your mustache. It's how you connect the 2 sides of the 2 worlds. If you didn't know about the mustache before, this is part of the explanation. The other part of the explanation is the mustache creates the giants. You know the giants, the giant men? And if you want to know how tall the giants are, if man is 69, but 69 is a number to be 6, 9, man 7 and 8 in between. 15 equals the egg, 7 by 8 equals 56. 5 by 6 is 30. We have creation. 30 becomes 36, 38, which means the connection of the 8th world of the 6th man. Giant has to be 104. Oh, excuse me, 102. Because 102 is Valentine's. When you have Valentine's, it means you've reached the date. And the number 45 reaches that. The most you can go over 45 is 52 would be man. So you go 52 and 52 because you're 7th gate. So you can stand on top of it. So 52 and 52 is 104. So the giants can be 104 inches high, which would be 8 feet. And there's more because when you create this, each one giant made up all 3 worlds before. Now he chopped it down by 3. So if this is a difference of 3, you have 3 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet. Then he has his hand above into the sky, 12 feet, the giants. So even if they can be even bigger under different understanding and explanation, but for now we're going to leave it at this. Oh, there's so much. It just doesn't end. Urantia world is it's just incredible what it does, what it is. And I'm just going to show you one more picture. I don't know if I designed it right. The extension between the two worlds, put an eye here, it's got a fox. This is halfway. This is a hexagon, and it's also the cap of the octagon. How do we create the octagon? By putting a line on this side and a line on this side, making an extension. Here's the jacks. Each jack, you got a jack on one side, a jack on the other side, and in the center, it's only an eye because you can't see his feet. His feet are running up this one and running up this one. And here's your UV because you got to cover your cap. You got to cap all your energies. Go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom, right? He's looking at him. This one over here, take a look. Z, I, O, or O for the what's it called? For the eye in the sky. Here's your O, and here's your N. N, Z, I, O. Zion. Here's the hockey puck that goes in between the two sides. Here's one part of the football, here's the other side of the football. Why? Because the football is built with 5 and 5 of 2 worlds. Just like the football field, each team only gets half a world because he only gets to own 49 yards. He loses the other yard to the in-between. When they have the coin floss, they never get that one. They start at the 35, but every time they start in football, they back up 1 more 2 yards. Not to be in the way of anybody else, so we're always giving up a few yards, so that's why every time you give up a few yards. I didn't finish with pi yet. I have the answer for pi. Well, the answer I have actually is a numerological answer, so it's no answer at all. But what I can do to the numbers in pi to reflect and explain this entire world that we live in, time and etc. of everything else, it's going to be easy and it's going to be fun, but I need a lot of hands to write things down. Here's your Urantia world. He holds up 2 sides. In between the 2 sides is 1 football to think. In between that, there's lots of eyes because they're all thinking. There it go on the sides of your cheeks. Why are your cheeks so red? And if you see the owl down below, well, he has no hips. So that pi goes right into his nuts. And that's where he picks up the last part. The last part of the sex is right here. Double cross, double cross, double cross. If you take a look on the side, hexagon, 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 hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 4, 4, 6. Why? Because these 2 dots and these 2 dots, instead of having a stick in between to connect them, they connect direct. Raphael 7286. In the constellation of Pegasus. Here's another one. This one you can see is the octagon, the corners. But what I was doing here, it's a picture frame. I put 9 numbers here or 9 spaces here for the 9 numbers in roulette, the 9 numbers in roulette, the 9 numbers in roulette, the 9 numbers in roulette. Or I play Monopoly. Train to corner. Train to corner. That's why it doesn't matter. You see, when they took away the penny, if you go to the corner, you become nothing. If you go back to the train track on number 11, you're everything. So when you go to the corner 0, you automatically become 7. When you go to number 19, which is 1 before New York, it is Tennessee. 19 become 1 and 19 because you're on it becomes 20, becomes 26. So you run 26 and you're on B and O. The taxes are on 44 where we are right now. This is a wonderful world and thank you for watching. I am only just like you. I've taught myself to do numbers just like you've taught yourself to do anything else. My worth and value is no more than anybody else. But because I'm on here and putting on this element of a show, I like to continue with other people so it gives a better flow. We can be together in whole as one. Instead of me coming out here and sounding like I know everything, I would know a whole lot less if there were a whole lot more of you out there saying, oh yeah, this is the way to do. And when we share it, it becomes ours and not just mine anymore. And that's what I'm looking for. The other thing I'd like to thank all you ladies in the world, I made a prayer when I began this. And I said, if I don't have at least 25 to 35% of women on here, then no one will take me seriously. Because only a woman, I'm sorry guys, but I know there's only a woman who's going to be very skeptical about everything more than anybody else and not to come on here and make a stupid remark. Okay? At least not as I know. So if you want to ask me something, go ahead. I will answer you because this is my show, but this is not my world. It's only my life. Thank you for watching.